And this story came out in AJC, December 3rd, 2019. Now, there is a declining interest in the teaching profession. And number one, I don't believe there is. They have focused heavily on putting white female teachers in these schools for decades. And they have kept the amount of Black men and women down to a very low percentage of being able to get these jobs. Now, we all know that Black people are far more educated today than they have been in the past. We have tons of Black women and men with degrees now. So there's no excuse for them not to reach out to the Black community to fill a lot of these teaching positions, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. All right. There would not be a teaching shortage in America if they did not keep the main focus on white female teachers. And to me, that should become more and more irrelevant because the schools are becoming more Black and brown, and there are fewer white children in this country now. So the justification to keep white female teachers dominating everything, especially in public schools, is going to start looking more and more ridiculous because we know their numbers are declining. The schools should be a reflection of the public, and they are not when it comes down to the teaching positions. All right. A new analysis by the Center for American Progress look at a national trend already apparent in Georgia. Fewer college students are seeking teaching degrees. And to me, I want to know who they're recruiting. CAP shows around a 40% decline in enrollment in Georgia teacher prep programs between 2010 and 2018. In that time period, only 5 states in the country, Utah, Arizona, Washington, Texas, and Nevada, experienced increases in student enrollment in teacher prep programs. The report resists broad conclusions and proclamations. It notes state policies have drive localized teacher shortages. It points out that researchers disagree on the causes of the teacher shortage that some districts confront. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I knew a couple of people I went to college with that tried to be teachers in the town that they lived in, and they would not give them those jobs. Black teachers had to drive far away to other districts to teach. And the teaching jobs within their towns, primarily all white females. That's how they've been doing it around this country for a long time. And they don't want to let go of that. That's why everything in America is so dumbed down. For example, Richard Ingersoll of the University of Pennsylvania says the problem is not that we don't produce enough teachers. We lose too many. Nationally, 44% of new teachers leave their jobs within 5 years. In Georgia, 32% leave within 5 years, according to Ingersoll's research. The Center for American Progress analysis addresses these differing views. Well, number one, you don't pay these teachers enough. You really don't. They don't get paid a good salary. But like I said, the one main thing they've always done was try to keep it a very white female dominated profession. And there's no excuse for that. Beyond the rate in which teachers leave the profession, there is still much to learn about how supply and demand interact in teacher labor markets. While some researchers have created thorough projections of supply and demand of teachers nationally and concluded that a shortage is looming, other experts have disputed this prediction. The proportion of teachers who are not fully certified is another indicator that researchers have used to argue that a national shortage is large and growing. According to the Economic Policy Institute, 1 in 10 teachers in high poverty schools are not fully certified. Okay, well, why is that the case? Seriously, why is that the case? Is it really that hard to get teaching certification in America? Furthermore, nearly 10% of schools reported that they were trying but unable to fill a vacancy in the 2015-16 academic year, up from 3.1% of schools reporting such difficulty in 2011-2012. The findings were relatively similar for high and low poverty schools. Again, I don't see how they're having this hard time unless they're not being inclusive enough. And ladies and gentlemen, I did a story where they said only 1% of the teachers in America are Black males. And that's because they have shut us out of these positions for a long time. Aside from the potential that too few total students are completing teacher preparation programs to fill every classroom, there are other possible explanations for reports of persistent vacancies. One of that, a portion of students who complete teacher preparation programs may not intend to teach or may decide after getting their degree that it is not the career for them. Again, they need to raise the salaries and bring in a more diverse staff that reflects the public. That has always been the root of the problem when it comes down to teaching. The data shows that this may be true for a small but significant portion of education majors. In a national survey, 69% of those who major in education taught as a regular full-time teacher in the 5 years after graduation, and an additional 16% taught in some other form, such as a substitute or a teacher's aide. This leaves 16% of education majors who never taught in the 5 years after graduating with an education degree. However, some researchers have assumed that most students who prepare to teach plan to do so and concluded that only about half of preparation program graduates are able to find a full-time teaching position as a result of continuing oversupply of teacher candidates. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, I think we know what the problem is. So they have right here a decline, but I still say, and I'm telling you, you guys, when I graduated from school, there were a lot of Black men and women that wanted to get into teaching, but they had a difficult time getting into teaching. And they're leaving all of that out. in these articles. Now ask yourself, out of this whole country, why is there only 1% of the teachers are Black males? No, it's that way because they've been shut out of these professions. That's the only thing that makes sense, and Black female teachers maybe slightly more than Black males, but they have never been inclusive in the teaching profession, especially when it comes down to the Black community. If they were more inclusive, there would not be shortages, period. But y'all, please tell me what you think. This is why education is so damn lousy in America. And I don't blame people for pulling their children out of these institutions now because they're just not good. And these kids got to put up with so much discrimination with their hair. And then you got these resource officers in these predominantly Black schools. And I don't know why they're there. That's not where the school shootings are happening. So I don't know why so many resource officers are in these Black dominated schools, and they are body slamming children and just going over the top and handling these children like they're full grown adults. And it's ridiculous. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.